Hello friends, welcome back to another Microsoft Flight Simulator video. Today we are again with Aerosoft CRJ and we will be looking at how to fly holds and how to do a missed approach. We are currently parked at Chicago O'Hare International Airport in one of the ramps, and our destination today is Louisville, Kentucky Muhammad Ali International Airport. Before we take off, I want to explain how you enter to a hold on a certain waypoint or fix while we are on the ground, and then I will get the aircraft up in the air and demonstrate how the autopilot is flying the hold. Currently, as far as I know, there are two aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator that can properly fly the holds with the autopilot, as well as fly a missed approach that's published in the nav data. I haven't flown the A320. It's been a long time. I'm not sure if it's implemented for A320 yet, but for now I have tested these two aircraft, Aerosoft CRJ and Citation CJ4 with the working title mod, can fly holds properly, and they're programming the hold is pretty much similar, because their flight management computer, or FMC in other words, are very close to each other. They look alike, the menu pages and all that. So without further ado, let's jump into the cockpit and let's just start discussing how to program a hold on a certain waypoint. The flight plan is entered. Aircraft is running on external power at the moment, and I'm not gonna go into the details on how to plan the flight and all that, because I have two videos for CRJ and a couple videos for the CJ4 on how to enter the flight plan, how to start from cold and dark to flight ready, so on and so forth. Let's jump down to the FMS and let me pop this screen out so that we can see better. Just to demonstrate, as an example, we will assume that we are going to hold at Darcy. So why you want to fly a hold? I can think of two reasons. One is my personal practice. This might not be the real world practice. So if I'm late on my descent and cannot make it to the selected altitude on time, I usually plan for a hold to make up some time to descend to the altitude I selected. In real world, I think this is not a good practice unless you are instructed by ATC, so that's the second reason. If you are flying on an online network like VATSIM or IVAO, the ATC can instruct you to hold at a certain waypoint due to traffic, due to weather, due to whatever that reason might be. And I think in real world this is also the practice on why you would fly a hold on a certain fix. I believe London Heathrow approaches are very intense when it comes to holds, and the ATC instructs to aircraft approaching Heathrow to hold at pretty much each and every fix towards their arrival or approach, I believe. That's what I heard from other streamers on YouTube. Anyway, so let's get to the example. So we will be holding at Darcy. Darcy is right here. To program the hold, we need to go to the holds page. And these square boxes are telling us that it's waiting for us to enter a waypoint to start programming the hold. We'll line select Darcy and then plug it into those square boxes, and then immediately the FMS will move on to the flight plan hold page. There's a couple information here. It's telling us that the fix we will be holding at is Darcy, and we will do a direct entry, and it's also displayed over here. Quad and radial, I looked it up but I forgot what these were. I think this is the direction, so that's a north direction or northerly direction with a 4-degree radial while we are entering the hold, as far as I remember. I might be wrong, so let me know in the comments if you exactly know what this means. Inbound course is, as the name suggests, our inbound course to Darcy. And if I go to the legs page, our inbound course to Darcy is exactly 184. So that's what's telling us. And the forward slash, this R, letter R, is telling us that this is a right turn hold. So the aircraft will start turning right upon entry and then keep turning right as soon as we hold at this waypoint. You can change this, and the way to change this is you type in the inbound course and then forward slash and letter L for a left turn, and if you plug it in here, it will change and it will adjust the inbound course according to your entry. I wasn't able to exactly select the inbound course for some reason, so this might be due to what's published in nav data, I'm assuming, but that's what it is. So now, as you see, the hold moved to the left side of Darcy and we are doing a left turn hold like so. Lag time, this is calculated from your max speed and the lag distance. So let's say if I increase the lag distance to 5 nautical miles, the lag time will be updated to 1.3. So that's automatically calculated. You can also change this, but I'm not sure if you should. And the lag distance is, as we discussed, that's the distance of the perimeter of this elliptical shape. Over here, this is the ICAO or FAA hold patterns that we will be flying. I think for US you have to select FAA, and for Europe ICAO. I'm not sure about this. Max indicated airspeed is 230 knots. You can also, I believe, change this. That will also change your lag time when you update the speed. So that's up to you. This might also be given by the ATC saying hold at Darcy, right turn, maximum speed 220 knots. So that's how you program this if you are flying on Metsim or any online network. Fixed ETA is our estimated time of arrival to the fix based on the current time, which I believe is, if we switch to the local time from UTC, that's 1451. It's saying 1330. That's because of the time zone. I believe that's a US thing. There is a different time zones. Even if you travel 100 miles, the time changes. At least for me, I am living in Indiana. If I travel to Chicago, they have an hour time difference. Chicago is 1 hour behind due to the time zone. EFC time, I'm not sure what this is. Let me take a look at the oh, okay, I see now. The EFC time is the expect further clearance time. So that means this is adding the fixed leg time, or adding 5 minutes. That means we will be holding there and expect further clearances in about 5 minutes. I'm not sure where this is coming from, but that's what it is. So this is how you program the hold. Let's execute this and keep it there. We will do this hold and demonstrate how the aircraft is holding and how well it is holding there. The next thing we will do today is, if I go to the legs page, we will do a missed approach into Muhammad Ali International Airport in Kentucky, Louisville, Kentucky. Let me close this screen and go to the legs page. So this is runway 35 left, that's our arrival runway, and after that there is a published missed approach, 1.9 nautical mile missed approach. It's telling us that our first or initial altitude after when we activate go around mode is 1600, and then our next one is 3000, and on the next page it's saying hold at Damon, and this is the altitude, but I think we can change it to 3000. Well, wrong syntax, I guess. Maybe like so. Yeah, and let's execute this. Let me bring the charts and we will exactly see the same thing here. So that's the arrival chart. And we will look them side by side. As you see, after runway 35 left, we are following the runway heading 350 until we climb to 1600. And this is also published here, climb to 1600, then climbing left turn. That means we will keep climbing and make a left turn to direct to Damon. So left turn to Damon, and that's also displayed here, left turn from 350 to 271, and then to Damon. And the hold and its shape is a little bit different, and you can also display this on the MFD if you go to the MFD menu, and if you select the missed approach, it is displayed on the MFD, and we can go and take a look at it. I believe if I keep the range like this and go to the legs page and go cycle to the end, as you see, that's the hold, and that's exactly how it looks like on the chart if you look at both side by side. Right, so this is what we will be doing when we arrive to Louisville. We will intentionally go missed and fly this hold with the help of the autopilot, which means we need to set our missed approach altitude of 3000 as soon as the aircraft captures the glide slope. So that's the plan. And as I said, let me get this bird up in the air, and we will first take a look at the hold at Darcy, and then we'll take a look at the missed approach after that. I will see you guys in a little bit. Welcome back, friends. We are getting close to Darcy. We left Chicago, the airport is back there, and we are getting close to our holding point. So I wanted to keep this view and keep the speed at 250 knots because our hold speed is 230, if you remember. So we will drop the speed to 230 and see what happens when we are about to enter the hold. So it is 4 minutes away, 20 miles, and we are climbing to our cruising altitude. So I'm thinking about dropping the speed to 230 and entering the hold with the selected speed. We shouldn't be climbing probably, but well, we'll see how that goes. Let me change the view a little bit and get closer so that we can see what the aircraft is doing, and maybe just change the range a little bit so that we see the relevant information. Like so. Okay, we will look to here, we will not look outside, and the aircraft will see we are at 230, so that's a good sign. We will keep climbing during the hold. What I'm more interested in is how well the aircraft will follow the hold pattern. That is what I'm looking for. If we reach our cruising altitude, we will adjust the throttle not to gain speed, because auto thrust is not existent in this aircraft, so you have to keep an eye on your speed and control the throttle accordingly. We're passing Dent. I probably need to synchronize the heading bug after we make the turn, like so, maybe just a little bit later. That's better. And we will keep going to our holding point, and we will take a look at how we exit the hold while we are flying the hold. Almost there, just a little bit more. I just wanted to bring you guys earlier to be able to demonstrate the entry to the hold as well. So let's go back to the holds page. As you see, we are going to enter with a 180 inbound course. We are currently 184, course is 184, so that will change when we are making the entry 4 degrees. I think that's why it's updated to 180 from 184 for the left turn. And then it will enter the hold. Speed is 230. We are reaching our cruising altitude shortly, so we have to adjust the throttle to maintain 230 during the hold. And then the leg time is 1.3 minutes. Leg distance is 5 miles. So we'll do a 5-mile course, which is increasing the diameter or the perimeter of the shape to match 5 miles. Okay, almost there. Darcy is right there. I'm not sure if we can decrease the range. That's too, yeah, I think this is better to see what's going on rather than zooming in a little bit more. Almost there. 1 minute. I'm not sure why it's not updated. And oh, so that's the hold. That's 2 miles to Darcy. That's the hold distance, I believe. Or I'm not sure what that is. This second Darcy displayed here. But now the aircraft should start entering after we pass Darcy. Should start making the left turn with an inbound course of 180 to enter the hold. And as you see, the page changed and we have an exit hold option here that wasn't displayed until we entered the hold. Now the aircraft is turning at 230 knots and following the hold pattern. Well, yeah, a little bit from outside. I think that's due to the range. If I decrease the range, that's better. It's flying the hold, so that's what matters. It's flying the hold close enough, so we don't have to worry about too much. And we can take a look at the time. I think it was 11 minutes, I think, when we entered the hold, or you can use the video time down below to see if it's gonna exactly take 1 minute to complete the hold at 230 knots. We have 3,000 feet left before our cruising altitude, so we might want to slow down a little bit. As you see, we are turning and making the hold. Not maybe ideally right on the displayed flight plan path, but close. So this is how you fly the hold. In some cases, you have to hold the altitude. I believe you shouldn't be climbing. So hopefully in a minute we will reach to our cruising altitude and we'll look into how that plays out when we are at a level altitude, or when we level off, and if it follows the hold better. But as far as I can tell now, it's doing what it's supposed to do. It is not turning. I don't know if we should. Yeah, it's because of the speed and we are trying to climb. As you see, the airframe is shaking. So I'm assuming we shouldn't be climbing while we are doing the hold, but just wanted to demonstrate, so that's why we kept climbing. But we are almost there, so it should be a better flight pattern next time we take the turn, because we will be at 33,000 right there according to the flight plan and the banana bar displayed. Okay, the speed keeps a little bit dropping. I'm not sure why. Oh, we switched to the Mach units, that's why. That is the reason. Doesn't matter. It's about to change. I'm just curious to see how it will hold when the speed is where it needs to be. Still having some problem with adjusting the throttle, because the M1 keeps climbing first when I'm trying to reduce the throttle and then comes back down. But we captured the altitude, which is a good sign. And now we are turning, and I think the aircraft is also calculating the wind compensation and making the turn earlier, because we will be drifting to the right while making that turn, because we have 29 knots of crosswind. That might be the reason why it started turning earlier than what's displayed here. But that's how you fly the hold. We'll fly one more time at the 33,000 feet when we leveled off. We almost did. And I will reduce the throttle a little bit to maintain the speed. Actually, I think we can just keep it there. We are not currently at 230 knots, but as you see, and if we look at the outside, we are turning and trying to hold at that pattern. The other thing is, maybe you shouldn't be holding at 33,000 feet. I don't know if there's an altitude restriction about holds, but just wanted to demonstrate how the hold is happening. We'll enter the hold one more time. The speed is going up, so we should slow down and see the M1. It's jumping. So I think 73-74% M1 is what we want, but as you see, it keeps climbing and fluctuating as I play with the throttle. But we are about to enter the hold for the second time, almost in a second, after we pass over Darcy again. And then the aircraft should follow that same pattern one more time. So the time is, it passed 4 minutes, so that's not exactly 1 minute, but we were climbing, so I'm not sure. The leg was 1 minute. But now we are at a better way of doing the hold, and we are dropping speed, so we should increase throttle a little bit to get back to the speed we want if the throttle cooperates with me. So as you see, we dropped to 210 knots because of that fluctuation of the throttle. Anyway, so what we will do now is we are going to arm the exit, so exit hold. So now it will say exit armed, and if you check the leg space, now it should exit, and on the second round when it makes it turn towards Darcy, and it will follow the flight plan path and keep going. That's what I'm expecting for the aircraft to do. I'll increase the throttle a little bit more, and we'll get back to the cruising speed when we exit the hold, and I will bring you guys back when we are at our 10-mile final to do the missed approach and see how that plays out. Anyway, let's wait until aircraft turns one more time to exit the hold, and then I will adjust the speed to Mach 7's for the cruise after we exit the hold. Let's stay here, exit is armed, and we will see this page will disappear. As you see, now the aircraft does not have anything here because now it's gonna exit, and the legs page, or now it's showing that the next waypoint is Dregs. That means we are done with Darcy, so the aircraft will turn and route itself to Dregs, to course 182. And that's what it is trying to do right now, making that turn, and this time it's following that flight path perfectly at 240 knots. Interesting. Alright, so that's how you enter and exit the holds, left side, right side. Next up is the missed approach, so I will bring you guys back at the 10-mile final, and we'll take a look at that portion of the flight plan and how we fly a missed approach. I will see you in a little bit. Welcome back, friends. We are getting close to our 10-mile final. An airport is ahead of us, and we are descending to the altitude to capture the glide slope and the localizer. So we'll arm the approach mode at this point, and we'll maintain a good speed. We'll go to the performance side, set our approach speeds and set the reference speed. And now we are waiting for the glide slope. We can decrease the range to better see. We are expecting to get to 2400, so we are descending a little bit faster. Let's correct this and we'll do an intentional missed approach. What's gonna happen is we'll move the throttle to toga mode. I started deploying the flaps, by the way. We need to slow down a little bit more before we can deploy the landing gear. We are getting close to 2400. And when we are on the glide slope, we will capture the we will set the missed approach altitude. Let's drop the landing gear and then another level of flaps that will create drag and slow us even more. And we captured the glide slope, so let's set the missed approach altitude of 3000 and let's keep deploying the last level of the flaps and maintain the speed. As you see, we are approaching nicely, but we will intentionally go missed. I was trying to explain, we'll go toga and the FMA should say toga at that point, and we'll retract the flaps, retract the landing gear, go nav mode and go speed mode and keep the speed around 240, 30, 40 while we are climbing to 1600 first and then 3000 later on. Let's increase the speed a little bit more. We are dropping more than I like, and as I said, it is still very hard to adjust the throttle. Okay, everything looking good. Speed started to pick back up. We are on the glide slope, although I don't see the poppy lights. Oh, there they are. We are a little bit below, and there are some real flights around Kentucky area. Anyway, we'll keep approaching like this, and then when we are at the threshold, we'll go missed. And you'll watch the FMA and what the aircraft is doing after that point. And maybe I can increase the range for us to better see. Okay. Now we will disengage the autopilot. That's my plane now. Keep the nose up. And we'll go autopilot mode right after missed approach when we get there. So 500 is checked. In fact, this is a good approach. I am tempted to land, but I'm not gonna do it. Let's correct ourselves a little bit. And let's say we are almost there. Let's say for any reason now we are going to go missed. So at that point, we'll go 200. And let's say we are too high, or we decided something happened, ATC asked us to go around, whatever. We'll go toga power. We'll just go toga power, retract the flaps, and then go runway heading, engage autopilot, nav mode, autopilot, and then speed mode, and climb at 245, 235. Okay, now it's working. As you see now, the aircraft started to take a turn, flaps are retracted, landing gear is retracted, speed brakes are in. And the reason I decided to go around is we forgot to turn arm the thrust reversers. So that's our reasoning. As you see now, we are making the turn while we are climbing very fast though. And if you heard the announcement, the cabin crew told that we are going missed approach. I didn't do a good job on maintaining the speed though after the altitude is captured, so we'll slow down. It's not a huge deal. I was just trying to show it and trying to take a look at a lot of things at the same time. So speed, keep an eye on your throttle when you go toga. After the aircraft starts to pitch up, pull back to the climb mode. Don't stay on toga too long. Okay, we are back to, I guess, the normal speed range. We'll keep the thrust around 50% and see where it stands at. But we are at the required 250 knot speed. So from this point, we'll just travel to the holding point and we'll start doing our hold, and we'll see how the aircraft does it at Damon. And then if we check the legs page, it is showing that we are going to Damon and we are going to hold at Damon. And from that point, we can set up another arrival or request vectors from the ATC for our landing, which we will do. What we will do is we'll probably vector ourselves back to the downwind section and then make the turn and then come back around. So the speed is getting lower. I'm gonna increase the throttle just a little bit more. I don't want to drop below 210 and keep it around 220, 230. That's the aim. Getting close to the holding point. This is a left-hand turn hold. So we'll start holding and then we'll look into the FMC and program a approach for the second time. Usually at this point, if you are on VATSIM or anything, you'll get vectors to final. But for this instance, we'll just vector ourselves in. Let's synchronize the heading and let's check the hold page. Nothing is displayed here. So we'll see what the aircraft does, because this is the first time I'm doing this with you guys on board. So we'll see how everything plays out. Speed is looking good. Looks like the aircraft is going to hold here. So we will circle around Damon at 3000. That's what I see from the VNAV information here. And if we go to the departure arrival, we can select another arrival and try to fly the same arrival one more time. But we will just keep holding and just monitor that before executing this, and we'll do this while we are holding at the Damon fix. So the speed is looking good. We are around 250, so I'm happy. We'll keep it around that. And as you see, now we are holding at Damon. Now let's go and something weird is happening. What are you doing, aircraft? You're supposed to hold at Damon. Oh, it's entering the hold, so it's a right turn hold, I guess. Looks like it. Yeah, so it's entering the hold. Let me check the chart to see if it's depicted. Yeah, it's a right-hand turn hold, so that's crossing across, and then it's gonna enter through here. And then entry course will be 99, yep, and then it will start circling. So that's what it's trying to do. It didn't do anything wrong. I just misinterpreted the chart information. Okay, let's just wait until the aircraft enters the hold, and then from there we will circle back and go back to our approach. That is what I am thinking. And let me see if there is another way of doing a different approach. I wouldn't do that though, due to the wind. So we'll just vector ourselves or go direct initial approach fix. which is radio bird, and then we'll take it from there. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. We'll go to, we'll have to climb though, but I will not. There's an altitude restriction of 4,000 and 5,000 or above at radio bird or RD/BRD waypoint. But as far as I can tell, the aircraft is doing a great job with holding at Damon, circling around nicely. So let's program what we are going to do from here. We can select the same approach, execute this, and then the aircraft should now exit the hold and route to the said waypoint. As you see now, it's going direct Hound. And now we can go to the direct intercourse page, go there, and then we can go direct Avli, execute this, and now we should be able to navigate back to where we started. Avli has a 4,000 restriction, but I'm not gonna follow it for the demonstration purposes. We'll go Avli, and then we'll drop to 2400, getting close to Avli, and then arm the approach mode one more time. So as you see now, the aircraft started turning around to go direct Avli. And then, what is the other one? Okay, so it's directly going there instead of following this path and turning around. We should have done that too. That is the approach we flew. So from holding here, exiting, going there, and flying the entire approach one more time. But I'm just trying to cut the time short a little bit. So that's also an option too. Just leave the aircraft by itself so that it can navigate back to the approach and then fly the approach one more time into the runway. So that's also an option, but then you need to climb to 5,000 to respect the restrictions. As you see, LV has a 4,000 displayed on the VNAV page here. But as I said, I will just stay here at 3,000 and then drop ourselves to 2400, getting close to LV, because that's a sharp turn into the final, which means we should start dropping flaps and slowing down before LV and set the altitude probably to 2400 right now. And wait for the aircraft to get closer, and then we will activate the vertical speed mode and slowly drop down to 2400 and start deploying flaps and maintain the speed. Coming back on the throttle a little bit, maybe it is better to stay around the minimum clean speed of 210 knots, where we don't need any flaps, but we can still fly nicely, level flight, we can still level fly nicely. So that's what I'm aiming for right now. And we are getting close to Avli, so let's go down to 2400, because I don't want to risk it one more time. Let's go like 600-700 feet per minute. They'll do, because we have 1 minute to Avli, and then yeah, we'll be fine. That might be even too much, so let's stop it at here. Slow the aircraft down. We'll get to 2400 shortly. Turn the taxi light after dropping the landing gear. Everything else is fine. I'm not sure if the cabin crew will make another announcement for landing. We'll see about that. Let's arm the reversers this time. And let's go and check the landing checklist. So before landing, passenger signs are on, flight attendants are advised, thrust reversers, arms, landing gear and flaps. We will just do it shortly. So 230, we can go all the flaps 1. We are slowing down again. It's okay though. I want to slow down because I don't want to make a wide turn there. So that's our final fix where we are going to capture the glide slope. So I want to stay around that 210 knots. We'll keep it like this if we can. If it drops more, we'll deploy more flaps until we make the turn. So getting slower. Let's increase the throttle just a little bit to get back to 210. I hope they fix this throttle response where you can instantly adjust it. Okay, still holding 2400. Speed is looking good. Not worried about that. We are still on the safe side with one level of flaps. Let's synchronize the heading one more time. And we are almost at hourly. So we'll set the missed approach altitude again when we capture the glide slope at CRDNL. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. And we'll take it from there, but this time we will land. That is the plan. So far so good. Getting close to make that turn. I think we can switch back to 5-mile range. And that ring is our 10-mile fix around the airport, so that's 10-mile final when we reach there. There's an aircraft right there. I turned on these tags. Now we can arm the approach mode. And we can start deploying flaps. Flaps 8. I'll keep synchronizing the heading. And the aircraft keeps slowing down. We'll go flaps 20. And then it will capture the localizer. And that's the airport right there. So nice turn. Very good. We will overshoot this just a little bit, looks like. Oh no, we didn't. Perfect. Perfect alignment with localizer. Okay, flaps 20. We are waiting for the 10-mile final. I'll keep the throttle at 61% and create more drag by deploying the flaps, not deploying the landing gear at 10 miles, which I'm doing right now. Landing gear coming down. There we go, beautiful view. All right, almost there. Let's focus on what we are doing. Okay, gear is down, flaps 30. We are about to capture the glide slope. And we'll set the speeds one more time. Set. There we go, reference speed and everything is set. Fuel, we still have enough fuel. We don't want to go around one more time anyway. But that is looking great, and we'll go the last level of flaps when we capture the glide slope so that we can maintain the speed with the descent. So we are slowing down, that's okay. We are almost at the final approach fix. We almost captured the glide slope. That's almost right there. Looking good so far. Let's see. Come on, glide slope is captured. Let's switch to localizer, nav source, and we'll go flaps 45. All looking good. Let's use the HUD, shall we, for this landing? And let's see. Very good. As you see, the HUD is showing us where it's aiming. This is useful if you ask me. We'll keep the speed like this, no problems. And we'll take over at 1000 feet. In the meantime, while we are doing this, let's set the decision altitude or minimums. That is going to be 664. Let's press this. Okay. 660. There we go. Minimums are set. Let's go back to our view. So we are at 1000 radial altitude, still on the localizer, a little bit of crosswind. And my plane, I took over. We'll follow this heading to compensate for the crosswind, and then we will correct the nose when we get closer. Okay, we are a little bit below. Let's lift the nose a little bit until we get back on track. I'm also trying to keep an eye on the glide slope indicator that is here. Looking good. Let's correct ourselves into the runway a little bit. 500 is checked. We need to correct just a little bit more. Wind will push us, so I'm aiming for the right side of the runway. And we need to lift the nose a little bit to get back on the course or slope. There we go, that's better. Aim for the right side so that the wind will push us to the center when we are about to touch down. Looking good so far. 200 checked. $100 is checked. Shut the throttle. Okay, this is going to be a interesting landing to the left side, but we touched down, so that's okay. We'll correct ourselves right now. Thrust reversers are engaged, and we'll maintain the center line. 80 knots. 60 knots, reversers off, manual braking, and taking this taxiway to vacate the runway and turn the taxi light on right now. Let's clean the aircraft, bring the flaps in, turn the flight director off, and then now we can turn off the landing lights and then the strobe and fire the APU. Very good. Let's slow down a little bit. Let's get rid of the HUD, we don't need it anymore. We'll take this taxiway and we'll park right there in front of this building. I'm not gonna look for an exact parking location. I'm just waiting for the APU to start so that we can shut down the aircraft when we reach the parking position. But this is what I'm aiming for. Not too bad landing, to be honest with you. Could have been better, but we'll just take this way and park to the left. Shall we? Let's slow down. This is a bit sharper. Let's turn. All right. Okay, there we go. There we go. We'll park here. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Slow, 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 slow. Yeah, there we go. Very good, very good. So we'll stop here, get back to our view, set the parking brake, and disarm the thrust reversers. And then we can turn off the probes. We should have done it after exiting the runway anyway. And then we can turn off the taxi light. The beacon stays on for now. Let's go to the aircraft page. APU is running, so we can shut down the engines to let the passengers out. There we go. Reversers are off. We can turn off the transponder now. And we can turn off the IRS switches. We'll look to the rest when we let the passengers out. So let's open the door and the service doors, in place the chocks and call for the tug. Alright, the rest of the shutdown, I'm not gonna keep you guys here while I'm doing this, but welcome to Louisville, Kentucky, and this is for missed approach and flying the halls. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. That helps tremendously to the channel. And if you want to get notified for the future episodes, please consider subscribing and turning on the notifications. Thanks for being here with me today, and I will see you in the next video.